Hi everybody. Hello, welcome to my live. Thank you for joining me. So glad you're going to craft with me tonight. I'm excited about the cards I have to show you. If this is your first time watching me, my name is Laura Roderick. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in San Antonio, Texas. It was an absolutely beautiful day here today. Gorgeous, sunny. Finally, we had a few days kind of crummy weather, a little, gloomy, rainy, but I think our weather's back, so that's exciting. I hope y'all are having good weather by you. I hope everybody's doing good at the beginning of this week. Thanksgiving is right around the corner. Hard to believe, right? Coming up quick. So I'm just waiting for a couple people to hop on, and then we'll get started. Lots of stuff going on at Stampin' Up! Again this week. They keep it interesting, right? There's always something new, so that's fun. On Saturday, they had an online event. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Kelly, which was fun. And we got a peek at the new spring catalog, so that was exciting. And we also got to do some pre-order. So that's fun. I can't wait to show you guys some of the fun things that are coming up in the spring, starting in January for customers, December 5th if you're a demonstrator. And I think January 3rd is the customer date. All right, well, let's go ahead and start going here. The first thing I like to do every week is do a share contest. And this past week, I said I was going to give away this cut and emboss folder. This is it's an embossing folder, but goes in the cut and emboss machine, right? And it was the Christmas Tidings embossing folder. So the share winner from last week was Rosemary Schmidt. So Rosemary, congratulations. Thank you for sharing. I will put that in the mail for you this week. And thank you all for sharing. I appreciate it. My numbers are creeping up a little, so I'm excited to have more followers. So thank you guys for sharing. It really means a lot to me. So to participate in the contest, all you have to do is share my video, either on my Facebook page right here, on my Facebook business page, or on my YouTube channel. Hi, Renee. Next week, or this week, this week's contest is for this stamp set that's More Wishes. This is a really fun, versatile stamp set. So all you have to do is to share to be entered into the drawing, and I'll give this away next week, on next Tuesday. Okay, I'm going to turn my camera around, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want to talk about is the seasonal sale, and that started today. Whoa, hold on. Sorry, dropped my phone. Not cool. Hold on, I don't like the way this is seating. Okay. All right. So you guys, the seasonal sale, super exciting. 10% off ribbons and trims, 15% off inks, and so that includes stamp pads, markers, and then there's also 20% off papers. That is not DSP. It's that I could see anyway. I didn't see that it was DSP when I was putting in my order. Unless, you know what, it might be DSP in the, I think everything's annual catalog, and the DSP I ordered this morning was from the mini, and it's not the mini catalog, so that's probably why mine didn't come up. But I got some great deals. I stocked up on some different colors of cardstock, some envelopes. Those are also on sale, some ribbons. So take advantage of that. It's only the 14th through the 16th. Terrific sale. And if you're a demonstrator, it's on top of our demonstrator discount, so that's even more. Before we get started on this week's cards, I just want to show you guys this set. Now, have you guys seen this set online? I'm excited about this set because it's advent calendars. I have a little bit of an obsession with advent calendars. I love them. I get, I'm kind of into them every year, different ones, right? So this is a great kit because you're making all these envelopes. There's 4 different designs. They're beautiful. They all have these clothespins, so you can hook them up either to like garland on a railing, or put them on your Christmas tree, and you can count down to Christmas with these, or just put them on a string on a wall, on your mantle, string them up. But just gorgeous set. It didn't take me long to make these. Everything you need is in the kit, which is awesome. And then just things to put in. Of course, I love the Ghirardelli squares. Those will fit in there perfectly. All the different flavors. You can put some stickers in, right? I'm just giving you guys some ideas. Candy canes, little Ghirardelli Santas. You can put some stickers. I've got these beautiful 3D nutcracker stickers that I got on Amazon. Of course, gift cards fit in there great. Isn't that a really pretty one? I fell in love with that one. I had to get that one. So you can put gift cards in. Oh, this is my favorite one. This dark chocolate sea salt caramel. Oh, so good. I love those. I got these from Amazon too. These little notepads, like sticky notepads. These will fit in there perfectly too. So just some ideas of things you can put in. Super fun kit. I want to make some of these for some family members this season. But order early because number one, it could run out. And number two, you want to get them started before, excuse me, December 1st when you want to start the Advent, right? Okay, so I just wanted to show you that real quick. Let me find myself on Facebook. Oh, I can see all your comments. Hi, guys. Hello, everybody. Okay, you guys, this kit tonight, we're going to be working with Sant Nicholas bundle. And I think these cards are really fun. Here are some of the samples in the catalog. It's on page 11. It's the bundle and really fun. And I like this kit from the start. But then when they came out with the online exclusive DSP, I was like, absolutely, yes, I need this kit like right now to make these fun cards. So here are the cards we're going to make tonight. We have this one here with the little fireplace and St. Nick next to the fireplace. I love this paper too. It's almost like a vintage paper design. Very pretty. One with St. Nick on the roof next to the chimney. Going to bring some presents down the chimney. Nothing fancy on the inside. Then so you guys have this stamp right here. This is a fun stamp. So we're going to use this one tonight. I really like that one. So kind of a forest kind of look, which I think is nice. And then this last one we're going to do is a gatefold card. I think this one's my favorite. I just like the colors of it. So we've got this one. It slides off like this and opens up right like that. So I think that's fun. I do like this Pebbled Path cardstock. I think is pretty and coordinates beautifully with the cardstock and the ribbon. And then have you guys used this embossing folder yet? I'll show it to you. It's the little snow one. I am in love with that embossing folder. I think it's so fun. Okay, let's start getting out our toys and we'll get out our pieces. Oh, thank you guys. All right, so this is the stamp set. Lots of fun stamps. There's some of them I didn't even use. These, look how cute that is, and there's some matching paper for that. The little mailbox, the bag of toys, and then these dies are awesome. You've got the chimney, the fireplace, a couple of the St. Nick dies that cut right out of the DSP, so you don't even have to stamp and color if you don't want to. Stockings, fire, like everything in here. I thought this one was really interesting too. Really pretty design that cuts out. And let me kind of show you. I just cut one out. I didn't use it on any cards because I kind of discovered it after I was done, but I thought it was kind of cool. So it cuts out this pattern. I just put a little bit of Very Vanilla in the background. You can see how pretty that is, right? Okay. All right. I'm going to keep these dies handy because we're going to be using these. Or at least I want to show you what we're using. Okay, so also for this first card, I used a lot of embossing folders tonight. So I have the this brick, what's this called? Something brick embossing folder. I should write the names on them in a little sticker when I take them out so I can remember what they're called. Exposed brick, I want to say it's like exposed brick. And then the timber, which is kind of the wood look, super handy. You can turn any piece of cardstock into a wood look, right? So we're going to use those. And here are our pieces. Okay, so there's a lot of pieces to this card. This card is an easy card to do, but there's a lot of die cutting. But the good news is you can do all the die cutting like in one pass. So that's nice and easy. So let's start with the card base, okay? Mossy Meadow, one of my favorite greens. All right, so that is our standard 8.5 by 5.5 score to 4 1/4. We've got the inside, and I used Very Vanilla and just a little scrap of this paper. Now, let me just quickly show you this paper because I love this paper. Here is the pack of paper. It is called Traditions of St. Nick. And mine, of course, is always cut up, right? Is this one more full? Oh, that's all right. I'll just show you what I have here. Lots of pretty patterns and papers. very nice to use. Here's the one that kind of matches those dies, the stamps and dies that I showed you for that. And then the ones that we're using tonight. And then you get these pieces that have the St. Nick already on them, which is handy. Okay, that's the paper. So we're using a 5 1/4 by 4 piece of this green right here that matches. So that's going to go on. We're going to build on this. So do I want to put it on? Yeah, I can just put it on right away, right? Let me just put the inside aside. We'll do that last. So we can go ahead and put this down. Let me find some seal. All right, here we go. All right, right in the center, easy part of the card, right? Okay. Now we're just going to build everything on top of here. So if you get the card kit from me this week, the Make and Takes, this is how it's going to come, right? We've got all these little pieces, and I'll show you what we're going to do with all of them. All right, so this I did in white. This is basic white, and this is just like a scrap that we're going to stamp our Santa on, and we're going to color him. That's going to be the longest thing tonight that we do, is just coloring the Santa. And so this is, let's see. Let me look at all my measurements. There's a lot of measurements. This is 4 1/4 by 2 1/2. And then I have this piece of very vanilla cardstock. And this is 3 inches by 2 inches. And I ran it through the exposed brick embossing folder. Now, if you order the kit this week, I've already embossed it for you, because you don't need, all you need is the St. Nicholas bundle, right? You don't need to order like a million other things, just the St. Nicholas bundle, and then I will do this part for you. So that's going to be part of our fireplace. I did some pecan pie, and these are just some little strips. So this is 3 1/2 by 1/2, and this one's longer. This is 4 by 1/4 inch. Okay, and I ran them through the timber. Again, this is how it's going to come. I've already cut it for you, and I've already run it through the embossing folder. So those pieces are done for you already. Okay. I will also give you this cut label, and this is also in very vanilla. And this is from, let me find it. That is from this set right here. This one right here. This is the Countryside Corners dies, okay? And the sentiment fits perfectly on this. So let's do some stamping first, and then we'll color, and then I'll show you the die cutting part of it. So I have the St. Nicholas with the tree and the bag of toys on his back. So I'm just going to get this inked up good in Memento Black, and we're just going to stamp it right on our piece right here. Okay, now we're going to color. And at first I was kind of intimidated by this set, you know, until I saw the paper and I was like, well, I can just cut the St. Nicholas's out. But actually it does, you know what, I'm going to get the Memento back and do this too. It does color pretty easily. I was surprised. It's small, but it's not that hard to color. Okay, so let's just get this out of the way. All right, sentiment done. All right, let's get out some markers. So I'm going to start with real red. I've got the light, I've got the dark. I'm going to start with the light, and just, I like to use the fine tip. Sorry, it's a little bit dark in here now that it's darker outside. So I've got the shadow thing going, and it's hard to color when the shadow is blocking. Okay, so just going to color his coat. And then we'll just add a little bit of dark just for shading. All right, how you guys doing on your Christmas shopping? I've done a little bit. I already feel a little panicky. Of course, you got to think about Thanksgiving first, right? You got to get your turkey ordered and all your food. We're going to do at work this week, we're going to have a little bit on Thursday of our own like Thanksgiving potluck type thing. So got to make some food for Thursday. That's going to be fun. What kind of sides do you guys like for Thanksgiving? Everybody has a favorite side, right? And we're very picky. Well, maybe I should say I'm very picky about what we have on Thanksgiving. I always want the same traditional foods that we have every year. And it would be really dramatic if I didn't have those very same foods every year. Of course, homemade stuffing, that's an absolute must. I usually do an ice cream jello salad, and that's a recipe I got from my aunt, and we've been making that for like, I don't know, 40 years. She made it, and then when I started doing stuff on my own, I started making it. So I know that's not very traditional, but it's a must-have for us, and Hawaiian salad, and green bean casserole, and all that good stuff. It's going to be weird being home this year because we usually go to Chicago for Thanksgiving, but since I was just there, we're not going. So, I mean, we were home one year, you know, the COVID year, but normally we go. So it's going to be a little bit different this year. But you guys hand make your pies. That's always a big deal for us too, is the pies. We always do homemade pies. All right, I'm going to take the real red, and now, so Santa's pretty much got his coat done, right? Now I'm just going to add a little bit of red to these drum bands in here, and also the bow on this Christmas package. And yes, it's really little, right? But I'm just going lightly with the tip. And that's all we're going to do for that. So I think we're done with all the red. Let me put that away. Okay, green. Let's do our mossy meadow. And we're going to do the tree. I'm just looking for the right tip for that. So I'm just kind of feathering that out to the tree. I know my hand's right in the way, you probably can't see, but so far not too bad, right? Coloring's not too bad. So we've got our tree pretty much done here. Okay, these parts of the robe are going to be white, right? So I'm going to do his like sack over his shoulder also in this nice light mossy meadow. Now, when I'm done with this, I'm going to show you the difference between this and the paper one, because there is a difference. And when you color it yourself, the colors are a lot more vibrant. And I'm just going to do the shadows just by doing another layer of the mossy meadow, just to kind of make it a little bit darker right in there. Okay. All right. Anything else green we need to do? I think we're done with the green. I'm going to do, let's go to the crumb cake now. So I've got the light that I'm going to kind of do his clothes on the inside. I know that St. Nick doesn't wear a dress. What do you call this part? Like a long shirt maybe? I don't know. So I'm doing that in the light crumb cake. And then I'm going to do what I believe to be his pants underneath in the dark. Just like that. And then I'm going to do his other bag right here. And we'll just do that in light and then just add a little bit of shading with the dark. So let me just do that a little bit and just kind of blend it in. Okay, so we've got his bag done. All right, next we have to do, let's do his face next. Oh, you know what else I want to do in the light crumb cake is the teddy bear. So let's do the teddy bear. Now I've got my bullet tip, but we'll go with that. Cute little teddy bear and his little teddy bear arm over here. All right. Okay, next I've got some basic black, And this is dark basic black, and I've got the light basic black. So we're gonna do boots, and I'm going with the light first. And then I'm just gonna do the soles in the dark. But even the light's very dark, wouldn't you say? It's pretty dark. But I didn't want to go like black. I wanted it just to be a little bit lighter, not so harsh. Am I coloring too low? I just want to make sure I'm still in the... Okay, a little messy on the bottom, not going to matter because we're going to cover it with the dark. Now, if you don't like to color, just cut one out. Just cut one out if you have the paper. And that's an easy way to do it, right? I love the paper, super. I was so happy when they came out with the paper. That was so exciting. Okay, just a little bit of dark on the bottom there. Okay, all right, what's missing? Face. I use ivory for the face from the Bronze and Ivory set. So I'm just gonna try and stay out of his eyeballs here. Very small area to color there. And he probably has gloves on, but I'm doing his hands in ivory. He can have that color glove too, right? Or you could do it in the green, but I feel like the green was going to blend in with the tree a little bit. So, and I feel like I want to add just a little bit more of the tree, just a little bit darker, like up the middle, just to add a little more. Okay. All right, I think our little guy, you know, let's just take a little yellow for the present. I feel we look a little finished up here. So I'm just adding a little bit of yellow for the present. And then I'm going to take a little bit of smoky slate and just do the drum, finish the drum off. Okay, not the most careful job because I'm trying to hurry, but okay, that's it. That's all we're going to do. Put my blends away. All right, so let me show you. Do I have one of the Santas? Hold on, let me see if I have one. I don't have one. Hold on. I mean, I do have one. It's just taking me a second to find it. Let's see. Okay. Okay, I guess we don't have that one. That one is green on here. Okay, so that's this one right here, the green one. But I colored it red. But you can see just looking at the colors, if you compare them, how much brighter it is when you color it yourself. So I just want to show you the difference with that. Okay, then we take our die. And it's this one right here. You just take the die like this. You run it through your cut and emboss machine. And then we have our Santa ready to go. All right, let me show you the other pieces now that we're going to use. So these are all the pieces that are cut in your kit, right? And they're all, most of them are like 2x2 pieces, right? Because that's just easy to do. So we've got all these colors out here. And let me show you what goes with what. So stockings, real red. We've got the fireplace in pebbled path. All right. Now, the fireplace, let me show you this die. It has two different pieces, right? So it's got this little piece which fits in the middle, but when you cut it out, there's a gap, and I'll show you when we get the real pieces out. So I cut it once on black and once on the pebbled path is what I did with that, okay? And then the other pieces, you're gonna wanna take white, and these are gonna be the tops of the stockings. They look like little bricks, so you're gonna cut that out like that. You're gonna take the little fire, and you're gonna cut that out of lemon lolly. And then, what did I use the pecan for? Oh, the pecan pie is for these cute little logs. Everything's very little, right? So you got the little logs, you're gonna cut that out of. And then out of the mossy meadow, just a little three-way holly leaf, okay? So these are too big for what we're doing, but you can just kind of see how this is all gonna cut out, right? So just take it, run it through your machine. Let me get all this out of the way and try not to lose any of my dies, because this to me is a forever set. I really like these dies because I feel like fireplaces are cool. I'm always going to want a fireplace die, or these little stocking dies. Just really cool dies to have and keep forever. Okay, let me get this out of the way. And let me show you the pieces once they're actually cut out. Once you do this cutting, and like I said, you can just set that up. You can see it didn't take up much room. Just set it through one pass in your machine, and then that's it. Everything is cut, okay? So we've got another fireplace. We don't need another one. All right, here are our pieces. Here's our red stockings. Here's our little cutout for the fireplace. Here's the one that I cut out of black when I did another one. Okay, so now it fits in there perfectly, which is what I wanted. Do I have a smaller one to show you? If you use the other die, you can see how much smaller this is. And then you're going to have that gap. And maybe you like that. I just didn't like it. Okay, so that's why I cut it twice. And then you can use the other black piece to do a black fireplace, right? So here's our little flame. Now this flame right here, it cuts out two pieces with the flame. Well, I didn't want to run it through again with the orange, so I just took a pumpkin pie blend and I just colored it. So that's all I'm going to do, just so we have a second color to save time, because, you know, I'm a little bit lazy. I didn't want to have to cut out the orange too. So now we've got our little piece for that. And that's it. That's all of our pieces. Now we can just start assembling everything, okay? So we're going to start. This piece is going to be our floor right here. So we'll put that down. I'm going to start using a little bit of glue. All right. A little bit. Here we go. Now we've got our floor. And we'll start building on that. I'm going to have the fireplace go off to this side since St. Nicholas is going to be over here. And I'll just put a little seal on that. So let's see, I think I want most of the brick looking. So that's going to go right about here. Okay. Let's put our mantle on. And I'm just going to put that right pretty much centered over the fireplace like that. Okay. Now let's go ahead and put this piece on. And in a minute, I'm going to start using my little tweezers because the pieces are starting to get little. And I'm not very good with the nails that I have. Are just going to get in the way. All right. I feel like that's a little bit crooked. Let's straighten that out. Let's put the inside in. Okay, good. We've got a fireplace, right? Need a little bit more decoration. So we're going to take our lemon lolly flame and put that next. Right about here. Doesn't that look cool against the black? I love it. Except for the glue that I got all over. Okay, now the little piece we colored in pumpkin pie. And I'm sure I probably didn't do this flame right. I should probably look in the catalog and see, like, how did they do it? What is it supposed to look like? But I think it looks okay like this. So I'm just going to put the flame like this here. Okay, now we can put our logs on, and there's two pieces to the logs. So I'm going to put one down and then crisscross the other one. So this one can go right here. And then we'll take this one. Do you guys have, now I don't think, Stampin' Up does not sell, I mean, they have the big reverse tweezer, but not a fine tip tweezer like this. But this was like $2 on Amazon or something, really inexpensive. And I never used to use one, but now I feel like I use it more and more, and especially when you're playing with these little dies. Okay, this one too, this is how it comes. It cuts out in red. I decided I wanted my string to be black, so I'm going to take my blend again, my dark basic black, and I'm just going to color that. So let me get back my piece of scrap paper, and I'm going to just shade that in. Okay, just like that. I'm getting sticky with glue. Okay, now we can put that on. Do little pieces drive you guys crazy, or are y'all good with that? I like little pieces. I like putting little things together like this. I think it's fun. I'm going to put this more over towards the side because I know Santa's going to be in the way. Okay, so far so good. All right, let's move out our other pieces. Now we get these little buggers, which I definitely needed the tweezers for, right? So let me just dot a little bit of glue on the top of all these, make it go a little bit faster. And then we'll just put these on the tops of our stockings. Just like that. Getting me in the mood for Christmas here with the little stockings on the fireplace. Whoa. When we were kids, my mom always wanted us to use real, like she liked to do like an old-fashioned type Christmas thing. So we would have like real socks, and she would put more traditional candy type things. So like there would be nuts and an orange and things like that in there too. Kind of fun. All right, let's take our little holly leaf. One of my favorite other candies for kind of a more old-fashioned is ribbon candy. Do you guys ever have ribbon candy? That was very old-fashioned and traditional for us. So every year we had ribbon candy. And now I put it in a big rectangular jar, which looks really pretty. I get it every year because I like the way it looks, and I do like a whole candy bar on my pass-through in the kitchen. So, so I have a big display of Christmas candy. This guy, let's pop him up. All right, so this first card's taken a couple minutes. The other cards will go faster, but we did some coloring, and then we did some die cutting of all these little pieces. So you really, I would say this is a card you're not going to make a ton of, but you know, if you just go through and do it assembly line style, you can easily make many of these. I'm going to use some of the minis down by his feet, so I want to make sure he's really secure on here. Okay, let me get these off. Sorry, I'm just putting them right over my little tabletop garbage can here, so I don't end up with little pieces all over. And then we're going to set him right here so his feet are kind of at the bottom, and he's not totally off. He can be a little bit off the card because we're still going to put it on the card base. Right like that. Okay, let's pop up our sentiment. I like this kind of traditional, old-fashioned looking sentiment too, right? Like this whole set coordinates really well together. And I don't know, I kind of thought this kind of looked like wallpaper in the background, so that's why I went with that. So we'll put this right about here. All right, so a couple little embellishments. We're going to use the Festive Pearls, and I'm just going to take one of those. Let me get these blends out of here. I don't think we're going to use those again tonight. So I'm just going to take one of the Cherry Cobbler Festive Pearls and put it right here in the middle like that. And then we need some ribbon. So I've got that real ribbon, real red ribbon that we used last week. So this is from that 2-pack that comes with the real red and this kind of burlappy stitched ribbon, which is also really pretty, which I keep saying I'm going to use and still have not used. And we're just going to tie a bow with the real red. I think I just ordered another one of these this morning because I liked the red and because it was on sale. I like to stock up on things when they're on sale. Okay. I need a perfect bow, right? Okay, that's better. Okay, glue dot to put our bow on. Oh, what happened to the bow? What's going on? Oh, you know what? My scissors caught it and pulled one of the the little strings. All right. So I'm just going to kind of put this sideways in the corner right here. Just like that, and I think that's it on the outside of our card. On the inside, nothing too crazy. So all we did on the inside is stamped, and I did this with Mossy Meadow with Joy, Peace, and Love. and put a little piece of that at the bottom. So let me stamp first and then put on the piece in case I mess up the stamping. All right, with joy, peace, and love. I mean, oh, see, I did screw up the stamping. See what happened there? You could put any sentiment you want. I'm sure everybody has a lot of Christmas sentiments. So, get out your old stash of things and put on whatever you think would be good. The flip side of that paper is pretty too, right? The little stockings, very cute. Okay, somehow I think, am I full of ink already? Hold on, let me get out my adhesive eraser just to get this little bit of ink off of there and make it look nice and pretty again. Okay. All right, you guys, this is it. That's our first card. We did the hard one first tonight. All right. Fun, right? Little Christmas scene. All right, I hope you guys like that. All right, let's move on to the next one. So I think the next one we're going to do is the Santa chimney card. All right, let me pull out what we're going to use. So I was looking for a different sentiment. I just wanted something that said Merry Christmas, and that's something that would kind of fit down here. And so what I actually pulled from was the Berry Cute set, where it just says Merry Christmas right here. But like I said, I'm sure you have stamps that say Merry Christmas, or use any other sentiment. You could put, you know, something from the actual stamp set on there too if you want to. But that's just the one that I picked and I liked. Using the crosshatch embossing folders. This is an online exclusive, comes in a set of 3, and this is the crosshatch one. I just used that a little bit for the roof. I couldn't find anything remotely close to shingles, so for a roof, so that's kind of what I came up with. All right, here are our pieces. Starting with Night of Navy, standard card base, right? 8.5, 5.5, square to 4 1/4. Now this paper right here is really pretty too. And this paper is from this set right here. And this is the Oh Holy Night. And it goes with the Nativity set. So lots of different papers in here with skies. And I'm thinking about using this set next week because I really like it. I think it's beautiful. So this is the piece of paper that I used for our little backdrop of the sky. So that's 5 1/4 by 4. And we'll just put that on like that. Now, took the easy way out this time. And got our, this is how it'll come in your kit. Just cut out like this, and then you can either use your die or fussy cut this guy. You're also going to get, I will have cut this right here like this and embossed it for you, so it'll come like that. And then you'll get these pieces, this one for the sentiment, and then this one for, these two for die cutting. Let me show you the die cuts for this one. Okay, so you have this piece right here, which is going to be like the snow on the top and the bottom of the chimney. That one's going to go right like that. And then the chimney is in 2 pieces. It's this piece and this piece. So these are just going to go on here, and you just die cut those out like that. Okay, so those 2 pieces get die cut like that. All right, I've done that already. I've also die cut out this, and there is a die for it. So here's my pieces for that one. Okay, so now we have everything to assemble. So now I just want to put like an angle on my roof. So I'm going to cut it, I don't know, maybe, let me look on here and see where I want to cut it to. Do I have a pencil? To probably maybe like about here. Okay, so I'm just going to mark that. You can use your paper trimmer if you want it to be really straight. I'm just going to take it and use my scissors like that. Okay, now I've got an angle, and I can go ahead and put my roof piece down. I don't know, can you guys think of a different embossing folder or a different way to do the roof so it looks kind of like a roof? I'm not sure. All right, chimney goes next. I chose gray. I just thought it looked kind of nice. I guess it doesn't matter which way this goes. It's got to go up and down though, right? So that right about here. The top part of the chimney that I just put like this. All right, now we're going to put down those 2 pieces of die cut snow on the top and the bottom. I clogged up already. This one's the top because it kind of drips down over the chimney like this. Oh, I got crazy with the glue. Did you see that? I got some glue sticking out there. This needs to go over just a little bit. Not quite to the edge. All right. Let me see if I can get that little dot of glue off with the baby wipe. Okay. All right. And then this one we're just going to put at the bottom. That's fun, right? A little bit of snow. I'm getting crazy with the glue again. Right like that. Okay. All right. Let's put this guy on with dimensionals. So the other half, you can see this beautiful red pattern. I love that pattern, but I didn't want to use it on anything because it was on the back of the St. Nicholas guys, which I wanted to cut out and use on the cards. So, but I thought that would be a really beautiful pattern to use on a card also. If I have any extra paper left over after cutting out all my St. Nicholas guys, then I will probably use it for something. Okay. I want him on the roof and next to the chimney. All right, I'm gonna stamp Merry Christmas. And I did it in Starry Sky, even though we're kind of using Night of Navy. I just felt like Night of Navy, when you stamp it, sometimes it looks just a little too dark. And I like it to have a little bit more of a dark blue hue to it. So that's why I took the Starry Sky. And we'll put that right here. All right, take your pick. No, not take your pick tool. What is this called? Drawing a blank. Banner's Pick-a-Punch. That came back to me. And we're just going to flag it. You could also just flag it with scissors if you don't have this punch. Put it in the guide so it comes out straight. Just like that. Okay, pop this up. We're going to finish the front by adding just a couple of basic rhinestones, just to add a little sparkle in the sky. So that'll go like that, nice and easy. And let's get some of these guys out. I use these like every single week. They're so handy. Last week we colored them and added them to some projects. This week we're just using them clear. So, hold on, come off. A couple there and one over here. All right, that's it for the front. Inside, just kept it very simple. Again, if you have a sentiment you like, you can put that on. I put the stars at the top just because I was like, all right, it's the sky. I'm going to put it at the top of the card. So I'm just putting it right up here. And then we'll put that on the inside. So this one's pretty fast and easy, right? I think that one's fun. Kind of says Christmas to me as well with St. Nicholas and the chimney. Okay, you guys, that's it. That's our second card, all finished. We could have also popped this part up if we wanted to. I guess we could have done that. That might have been good to pop that up. Okay, let's go on to the next card. So this card, now we're going to kind of do the foresty scene. Let me clean up for a second. And so what I'm going to do for this card is I'm going to use the Stamparatus. And I know we don't sell it anymore, but maybe some of you have it. There's also other brands on the market. I think I used to, before I joined Stampin' Up, use one by We Are Memory Keepers or something like that. Kind of the same concept. But I think when you have these really big stamp sets, it's helpful to have it to stamp. Now you can see there's 3 rows of trees. I only want to use 2. So I'm going to get crazy with my Post-it tape and cover this one up because I don't want to use that. Because that's where I want my St. Nicholas to go. So I'm going to start, before I do that, let me get out my card pieces. So here's the actual Fragrant Forest stamp. And then for sentiment, I went to the Christmas classics that we used last week, and I just took Happy Holidays. So just these right here, these little stamps right here. This is great for greetings, right? You could have done Merry Christmas, lots of nice greetings. This is a good set to have. Okay, hold on, I need a drink of water. Okay, so this is how your card will come in the kit, just like this. And I'm going to take this piece right here, and this is 7 inches by 5 inches, so 7 by 5. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to get a good stamp on the tree, so I may have to do it once or twice, so I'm going to want to use my magnets. And so I want to have room to hold things down with my magnets, okay? So let me put it here. I'm going to put one magnet right up here and the other one down here on the edge. So now I have enough room for the stamp to go in. Let me see how that's going to line up. Perfect. That'll work. Okay. Now let's get crazy with, let me put it here so you can see it a little bit better. I'm going to start to get a little bit crazy with my Post-it tape and start taping this off. And so it's going to be tricky. I mean, the first part's easy, but if I have to keep doing it to get a darker image, and you probably don't have to do the whole thing if you're careful with your stamp pad. I, of course, am not careful with my stamp pad, so I'm going to just go crazy with this tape right here. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is if you're going to do it a whole bunch of times, you may need to retape it, right? So let's see if we can get a good imprint the first or second time. And I think when I did this card, I didn't have to re-stamp the ink. I just had to press it down a couple of times. Okay, so this bottom part is taped off. Let's get out our Mossy Meadow and we're going to ink it up. All right. Hi, Jolene. Oh, thank you. Thank you, guys. All right. Here we go. Hopefully my pad doesn't need to be inked up. I can get enough ink on this. So I want to make sure I'm getting enough ink so like I said, I don't have to retape and keep doing it. So how does that look? Not bad. Just going to go crazy, a little bit overboard here. Okay, I think that's pretty good. All right, I'm going to close that up and get it out of the way. I'm going to remove all my tape. I'm going to cross my fingers and take a deep breath. And then we'll see how this stamps. Okay. Here we go. Let me get this flat. All right, now I'm gonna press it. I also have like a little eraser that's just like a dry erase that I'm just gonna add a little bit of pressure on it. Kind of go over it to make sure I'm getting all the areas, which this one doesn't have any ink, so I don't know why I'm going over that area. But there we go. All right, let's see. See, we missed a spot right there. Okay, going back in. Gonna hit that area up and press really good. Let's see now. That's pretty good. Just one more little spot right here. And hopefully my magnet's not in the way and causing me any issue. Okay, I am happy with that. That came out good. All right, let's pull it out of here. Now we're going to cut it down, and now we can cut it exactly how we want it. It's going to be the second layer, so it's going to be 5 1/4 by 4. So we've got some room. cut it how we want it. All right, so let's start here. Like that. See, I guess I didn't even have to worry about that little spot over here because we're probably going to cut it off anyway. All right, so that's 4 inches. Now we need 5 1/4. Let's go across the top. Oops, I keep catching on the part right over here. So I want it pretty close to the edge. See how that looks. I think that's pretty good. All right, 5 1/4 it is. Now we've got enough white at the bottom to put our other elements on. Okay, that looks pretty, doesn't it? I love that stamp set. That is really pretty. Okay. All right, card base. Same card base we've been using. We're gonna just attach this to the front now. Perfect. Okay, this card is super easy, right? Nothing to it. All right, so this is going to be for the inside, and I didn't do anything fancy with the inside. I'm just going to stamp that sentiment on the inside. I have this piece of white also to stamp on. I'm going to do Happy Holidays, and I showed you where that was from. So let me get out the Mossy Meadow again. And so that comes in 2 pieces. I separated them a little bit here because I'm going to cut them anyway. So, and I'm just going to hand cut them. All right. So let's cut those out. And if you want them really straight, you can use a pepper trimmer. I'm going to use something else we don't sell anymore to try and get it kind of straight, if I can. I don't know how straight I'm getting it. I'm going to go a little bit closer. Try not to chop my fingers off. All right, and I'll just use scissors for the rest of that. All right, let's stamp the sentiment for the inside of the card. All right, let me clean off my stamp really quick. I want to get that black into my Mossy Meadow. Pretty, right? That came out pretty good. Okay, now we've got this guy. Again, this is how it's going to come to you. This one gets fussy cut. There is not a die for this one, so I had to fussy cut this guy. And so I went around and just kind of feathered it around when I was cutting like this, right? This part right here, I did not cut out. So you can see this is one of the sleeves right here, and this is just like white snow. So I felt like it looked fine without cutting out the middle, just like that, okay? So I fussy cut that guy out, and here is him right there. And so that's it. Super easy card to put together, right? Let's just stick a few things on. If you have a Stamparatus or similar tool, that's super easy because I feel like it's kind of hard to do those really big stamps unless you can take a second pass at it. At least for me. At least for me, that's hard. Whoa. You see what's happening here? I'm having difficulties. All right, setting them right about here. Okay. If you like, you could add a little bit of Wink of Stella to the trees. You could splatter a little bit of like white on the trees for a little bit of snow that way if you wanted to. I didn't get crazy with it. As a matter of fact, I had texted my daughter and I'm like, how am I going to embellish this card? And she said, why don't you just put some little ornaments on the wreath? And I thought, oh, that's perfect. So that's what we did for that. Thank you for that suggestion, Nicole. All right. Sorry, I was reading the comments for a minute. Using minis here. I feel like, okay, so you guys know that there's going to be, starting, I think it's the 14th of, no, it's the 21st of November. They're going to start Last Chance in the holiday catalog. So I feel like stuff's going to start selling out. So it's going to be harder to do Christmas cards and show you stuff that isn't sold out already. But I'm going to try and do it anyway because I still have a lot of Christmas sets left that I have not used. Inside right here. And then we're going to add those festive pearls, which again, I think are perfect. They're nice and small. And I think they just add the right touch. I just put 4 of them on the card. So just randomly. Let's put one here. I think actually this time I'm going to put 5. Because I put them a little closer together this time. All right, you guys, what do you think? Not too difficult, right? I kind of like the look of that. I love the green. I love those trees too. Okay, one more card. I think this one is my favorite. I think I just love the colors of this. And we're going to make this pretty gatefold card. So let's get our pieces out for that. We're also going to be using these Countryside Corners dies. And if you get the set, I will cut these for you. So you will get these die cut already. And this embossing folder, I was telling you about that. This is the first time I've used it. And I am in love with this folder. Look at these beautiful snowflakes in the background. And when you do it on the white like that, look how pretty that is. I love, love, love the look of that. Okay, old favorite Stylish Shapes die is going to use this circle right here for the sentiment. I'll cut that out for you as well. And here are the pieces for our last card. So let me put everything aside. There's a lot of pieces here. Doing the gatefold. So we're going to start 8.5 by 5.5, and this is pebbled path, and we're going to score 2 1/8 on both sides, and then just fold it so it meets in the middle like that. So that's our card base. On the inside, I've got a 5 1/4 by 4 and a little strip. And I did not put a sentiment on this one. Just pick a sentiment that you would like to put in yours, or maybe the inside you just want to write your greeting to everybody and not put a sentiment in. Up to you. I'm going to put our strip on the bottom of this beautiful DSP. All right, inside, we're still going to add some trees to it in a few minutes, but let's start working on the belly band, okay? So I used this one with Pebbled Path. I used this one with Basic White, and after I die cut out the piece, I sent it through the embossing folder, and I will do that for you in the kit. So we're going to attach it just like that. I kind of went crazy. This one's out. Went crazy this week with embossing folders, right? All right, right like that. Pretty just the way it is. Okay, this is another one. This is the same one that we used before in the first card, except this is in the DSP and it's green. Okay, so I just used the die cut and die cut him out. And then I fussy cut some of these trees. So for this card, I'm using like a small, medium, and a large tree. So I fussy cut those out, and they're super easy to cut out. So here's our St. Nick. Here's our small, medium, and large trees. So we're going to pop him up on this piece. All right, little ones on the feet again. Let's get on there. All right. Do you guys have a favorite Christmas set from the catalog? This one's going to go right here. All right. I'm going to put the large tree. I think I used a large tree, or was it a medium tree? I guess it was a medium tree. I used a medium tree right here. I'm going to pop that up too. Put a little one towards the top. And I think I used the large and the small on the inside then. But I'll give you the cutout piece of designer series paper like this, so you'll be able to use your die cut for this and then fussy cut some trees out. All right, how about like here for our tree? Now we need to do our sentiment, thinking of you this Christmas day. I've got my stamp right here, and again, so this says a simple letter sent to say thinking of you this Christmas day. That kind of goes with the little mailbox that's part of the set, but I'm going to use my Post-it tape again because I don't want the top part on there. And so I'm just going to tape that off and then use Pebble Path and ink that up. So it just says, thinking of you this Christmas day. Wow, my Pebble Path is really juicy. Wow. Okay, we'll see how that comes out. I may have to redo that because I got a little crazy with the ink. So right in the middle. Okay. A little tiny bit crooked, but I think it's okay. All right. Let me put a dimensional. Right here, and then I'm going to put a little bit of seal on this side. And put that right like that. All right, 2 pieces of the designer series paper. So I believe these are 5 1/4 by 1 7/8. You need 2 pieces of that, which will be included. Let's put that on the front. Okay, let's do our belly band. Now I did start a fold right here. So this is 1 inch by 10 inches. And what I do is I like to put it, just kind of do it around manually like this, because I want it to be kind of snug. So it moves up and down, but doesn't like fall off either, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna kind of fold it where I want, and then I'm just gonna make my crease look a little bit neater with my bone folder, just so it looks nice and neat. All right, let's put that back on, and I'm gonna need a little bit of adhesive right here. And if I go over, it doesn't matter, because keep in mind we're gonna put that other piece over this. So this is gonna go like this. You line it up like that. Okay, now we've got our band that's gonna slide up and down, right? All right, let's add some ribbon. This ribbon is still on back order till the 20th, so that's next week. I have a lot of it because I used it for some other projects already, including starting in Halloween. So I have a little bit of this ribbon, and I just think it's beautiful. I ordered some today again. No, I didn't, because it was in back order, but I wanted to order some. I wish it would have been back order for the sale. But I do have some, and I will order it again once it comes off a back order next week, because I feel like I just need more of it to have. All right, so I kind of want to make sure this is moved to the side because we've got a big piece going on, and that I kind of angle it sideways when I'm pulling it, just like that. That's not bad, but let's make it just a little bit smaller. Okay, let me get my ribbon scissors, make that nice and neat. Okay, Now we have our pretty bow. This is just going to go on with some dimensionals. And actually, I think what I did on this card was I just trimmed the edges, and I'll show you. I just put a little strip across. So I just took a strip from my minis and just cut it, or, you know, we have those strips that you can use, but I was too lazy to get them out. I like everything when I'm crafting to be like right here, so I don't have to reach too far for anything. So I just put strips on either side of the ribbon like this. All right. We'll put this on here. Right about there. I think that looks pretty good. And then let's just add our trees to the inside. And I want those to lay flat since they're on the inside. Like that. Okay, you could put a sentiment here if you want. That old-fashioned Merry Christmas one would look good there too, right? Or something from another set that you have. Okay, no embellishments because I feel like there's a lot going on here with the ribbon and stuff and the embossing. So that is our last card. So let's just bring back everything we did tonight. We got through it. We did them all. Thanks you guys for hanging in there with me. Oh, thank you very much. Okay. All right. So here's what we did with our fireplace card. Then we did a little chimney action, our forest card, and then we did our gatefold. I hope you guys like these cards. I think they're really fun for Christmas. Let me tell you about a couple things before we hang up, so to speak. If you would like the project and measurement, the measurement and supply sheet, just email me. I'll be happy to send it to you. It's got all the measurements and all the pieces that we used. If you're on my email list, you will get this automatically in the email, so you'll have it. I thought this, have you guys seen this one, the Best Destination Kit? This one looks so fun and so summery. So I did order that this morning too. I put that in my order, so I can't wait till that comes to make that one. Keep in mind that the online exclusives are still ready to go, ready to be ordered. And I think that's it, you guys. Again, oh, if you want to get the make and takes this week, place an order of $35 or more with me by Saturday. Here's the host code right here to use, and I will send you the make and takes for free. If you don't want to place an order, I also sell them for $20. So email me if you would like to purchase them for $20. If you order $35 or more, I will also send you the Sweet Stampin' Friends tutorial. And we've got 9 demonstrators. And this month we did the baby wipe technique. So a lot of really good ideas in here for using that technique. I don't know if you've ever used it before. This was the first time I used it, so that was super fun. And this is the card that I made with that. So I will send you the PDF too if you spend $35 or more in my store this week. All right, you guys, thanks for joining me. It was super fun crafting along with you guys. I'll see you next Tuesday. We'll do another class. Have a really good week. Talk to you later. Bye.